Hi, I'm Christie, the Motive Guide. I'm a certified Enneagram life coach, and this video is your guide to the Type 5. Maybe you've taken an Enneagram assessment and Type 5 came out as the top score, or maybe you're for sure and you know that you're Type 5 and you just want to learn more about that type, or maybe you have a family member or a friend and they've said, I'm a Type 5 with the Enneagram, and you're like, what does that mean? Well, hopefully this video will help you uncover and discover more about the Type 5. I know personally I am a Type 2, and Type 5s tend to be a little bit of a mystery to me because I'm super relational, and Type 5s are not so much. So it's been really fun to do a deep dive and do a lot of research and investigate the investigator. So that brings me to the different names that a Type 5 goes by. And probably the most common name is the investigator. We'll talk about the why for that name in a minute, but they're also called the investigative thinker or thinkers. They're called the observer. And also I've heard the analyst. So those are just a couple of names that the Type 5 goes by. The top name, though, is the investigator, and that is because this type has just this curiosity and this thirst for knowledge. Type 5s tend to want to know why things work the way they do in the world, and they'll dig in and do actual research on random things even, just to discover what it is about them and accumulate knowledge of things around them. Now, Type 5s, not every type is like that. There are other types that are like, I don't know how it works, it just works, and that's good enough for them. But for you want to uncover more and discover more about why things work and how they work, which is awesome. Type 5s are also called the observers, and this name highlights the tendency they have to kind of almost withdraw and observe situations from a distance. Lots of times they'll prefer to gather information while kind of standing in the back and before fully engaging. And they feel more comfortable being observers than necessarily active participants in a bunch of situations. So that's where the name observer comes from. They're also called the thinker. That one's kind of a given because this type is very analytical. They are in that thinking triad, which we'll talk about in a minute. They spend a lot of time thinking and processing information. They like to ponder complex ideas. So yeah, the thinker is a given name. Now, I mentioned they are in the thinking triad. That is the centers of intelligence triad, where you have your gut and instinctual center, your heart and your feeling center. Well, the Type 5 is in the head, the thinking center. There'll be a whole nother video about that, but just know that Types 5, 6, and 7 are in that head thinking triad. Type 5s, I think they could also go by the name of independent, because all the Type 5s that I know are super independent. Like I mentioned, they don't mind being the ones in the back, observing instead of engaging in social situations specifically. They tend to do that because they think they lack internal resources. They don't want to be overwhelmed by people and situations, and they don't want people intruding on their space and their thoughts. And they also don't want obligations placed on them. So that's, some of the reasons that lead them to be so independent and withdrawing, and kind of sometimes they can even appear as loners. When you're getting to know types on a deeper level, and also when you're trying to discover your own type, your core or dominant type, you always need to go back to the core or basic motivations. So the why behind the why, not just the behaviors. You could identify with a lot of the 5 behaviors, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're a 5 unless you really identify with the core motivations of the type 5. And the core motivations, the first one we're going to talk about is the core or basic fear. Now, the basic fear for a type 5 is being helpless, useless, incapable, or ignorant. So type 5s are always trying to avoid any situations or people or surroundings that might bring up those feelings of being helpless or incapable. Maybe they don't know a lot about that area or that topic, and so they might just avoid people that tend to talk about those things or are in those areas. So they're always fearing or withdrawing from those types of things, and a lot of times they don't even realize that they're doing that. On the flip side of that, the desire or the things that they're always chasing after or running to obtain for the type 5 is being knowledgeable, capable, and competent. So it's definitely the opposite of the fears. They do want to master at least one skill or subject. So my son most likely is a type 5, and I know he just really longs to master the skill set for his career. He wants to know everything there is about it. He wants to be the best about it. He wants to be knowledgeable and to be able to do all the things related to that topic. So it could be just one topic. But I know some 5s that they just know things about almost everything. So for some 5s, it's almost like they're a sage or an expert of many things, and they actually can enjoy having all of that knowledge and being the one, let's ask this person, just run that by that person. They always have an answer or a solution for that problem. So they definitely want to be in that position of being knowledgeable and capable and competent. So those are the desires of the type 5. The weakness or the vice or the sin of the type 5 is avarice. We don't typically use that word every day. In this case, avarice just means a type of greed that the type 5s have. And this greed is relating to they can almost like hoard their internal resources and their personal knowledge. So we talked about type 5s kind of having a battery life, a limited battery life. And for most of us, we wake up in the mornings, we start our day and our battery is filled to capacity, and we just go through the day dipping into that battery. Well, a type 5, it's almost like they wake up and their battery is already used up. They only have 50 or even 20% left. So they're thinking of every situation that comes up. They're thinking, do I have enough energy for that? Do I have enough resources for that? So you can see how life and relationships and work and family, all of that can take a toll or drain battery life of a 5. So this can, you can see how this could be challenging to relationships. The message that a type 5 is longing to hear is your needs are not a problem. Your needs are not a problem. And again, this relates back to their need to withdraw and to have some alone time, some quiet time to recharge their batteries. Great things about a type 5, they are objective. They take all that knowledge that they have and they can come up with some amazing and objective answers or solutions without letting feelings get in the way. So they're objective, they're curious, they love to just learn and find out more things about this world or their favorite topics. They're perceptive, they're good problem solvers, and they're independent. You don't have to do a lot of hand holding with this type. You know, when it's their area of expertise, especially, you just let them go and they can get it done. So those are great things about a type 5. Some areas for growth for a type 5. They need to learn how to express their feelings more, especially during conflict, and not just share thoughts and observations. Also work on learning to communicate those needs in a gentle and productive way. When you need time to withdraw and process things, that's okay, but try to verbalize that, because not everybody understands that or knows that about you. Work on asking other people for help and then depending on them to do that help. Another area for growth would be getting into action. Don't get stuck in the thinking process. Stop refining ideas, refining, and just having those ideas stuck in the thinking stage. Your ideas are probably ready to be put in action way before you think they are. And then lastly, remember that your needs are not a problem for most people, especially for the ones that care about you. All right, I hope this video helps you know a type 5 better. Type 5s, if you would like to continue growth and would love to work with me, I can help you grow. I have 5 deep dive sessions, 5 sessions into the type 5, and we talk about those core motivations even more. We uncover blind spots. We talk about areas of growth, get you to your healthiest level as you continue growing and growing. Maybe you have decided that was pretty interesting, but I'm definitely not a type 5, but I'm not sure what type I am. Well, I would love to do a typing session with you. I do 1-hour typing sessions where we dive into core motivations of all the different types, or at least your top types, and we firm up which one could possibly be you, and that sets you on a great path to discover more and grow even more. And always, you can find my free assessment on my website, themotiveguide.com. You can contact me there. You can read a little bit more about the Enneagram and get going in your Enneagram journey. So be sure to check that website out. Type 5s and friends of type 5s, I would love to hear your comments on this video. Tell me, do you have any more questions about the type 5? This was just a quick overview. Or type 5s, if you're like, I can't believe she didn't talk about, put that in the comments below. I would love to hear your feedback on that. And as always, I'd love for you to like and subscribe to this video and this channel where we talk about all things Enneagram. All right, thank you so much, and until next time, bye.